So I'm curious about this Wacom Pro Pen 3D. I want to see what this can do as I work in 3D. And yeah, let's take a look in Maya, Mari and Zbrush how we can use this and how we can set it up. I'm gonna demonstrate this on a Cintiq Pro. So yeah, let's take a look. Okay, so the Pro Pen 3D, let's set the... So here we have it. It's the Pro Pen, Wacom Pro Pen. So it has an extra button here and the usual buttons there. So let's dive into it, see what we can do. We have some touch settings here. We can have a keyboard, on-screen keyboard, touch on and off. I'm just gonna go without touch now. And this, the wrench there, so this is the settings. So we have pen settings, for example, here for the Pro Pen. So we see we have this, the new button, tumble, pan and zoom, and the right click. I've mapped it to, I think that's actually default. And different programs can have different support. So Maya, for example, has pretty good support at the moment. Another program I use, Mari, it's not really supported out of the box. You have to map it like you usually do with the Mari, and probably use your keyboard or an express key as well. First off, pen calibration, that's probably something we want to do. We have these crosses here that I have to, so now it should be calibrated. So this is something you do, I guess, when you move it. So let's load a model and try and navigate and assign a shader and render something in Maya, just to see what happens. So first off, we need something. I'm gonna import one of my models. So here we see we have something there, so I'm gonna zoom out here. So first off, this button here is the tumble. So when I press it and move the mouse, you see it starts to tumble the object. And this one, the first button there, it will act as move. See, I move the object there. And if I hit the first button again and actually press down onto the stylus or the Cintiq here, it starts to zoom in and out. So yeah, it's gonna be I guess a learning curve to get used to this behavior. Some programs gonna be easier than others. So Maya has pretty good support at the moment. Mari, for example, that I talked about, you have to map some stuff yourself. Let's select something. Let's apply a shader and make a light. So I want to take an HDR of mine here, and let's fire up an IPR. Okay, so here's an IPR render, and let's tweak some settings here on this one. If I take this icon here, I can just tap on an object in the render view here, and it's gonna give me the settings. So let's start to tweak stuff here. Maybe I want to make this color. Let's make it a bit shiny. Increase the roughness. Let's tumble around to see what happens. Iridescence. Let's make it kind of a car paint type of material there. So yeah, here we have it. The Wacom Pro Pen 3D. And there's the box. It's gonna be interesting to test it now in Mari. So I know that I've read that Mari doesn't have really as good support as Maya have for this. So it's gonna be me configuring this in the Wacom settings panel as I usually do in Mari, how I control it. But so I'm planning to use, I guess, this button maybe as a bake button in Mari. So instead of hitting a button on the keyboard, I can just tap this one when I want to bake. So that could be cool. So let's try that out right now. So let's just dive into Mari now. So Mari 4, I want to set up. First off, we can have click. And let's say another click here, middle click, and another, that's already set up, right click. So let's try that first and see what happens. So if I hit the Alt tab, this is kind of what I have usually when I set up Mari. So I have the click. If I hit Alt, so if I had an express key, I don't have it. I could probably set this up like I have a express, like a remote control for this Wacom. Usually I use the usual Wacom tablet, so this is the Cintiq. So right now I have my keyboard here, but if I hit Alt and tumble here, just that's kind of tumbling. So I hit this button, the first one here, the middle of them, that's gonna be the tumble, and the right one is gonna be in and out like this. That's my usual setup. So let's see here what we can do. We can experiment some more with this. Let's try actually and say this as a click. So usually by default this is tumble, but tumble doesn't work in Mari, so I guess that's something that Foundry has to make support for. I'm not sure. Let's say middle and click right, and yeah, let's try that, see how that works first. So that's usually tumbles there. This one in and out, this one side to side. So that's another combination I could use. If I go here somewhere, let's see how this works. Not sure if I like this. I think I go back to my original one actually, and have this, the other button, as a bake button instead. Let's go back to pen settings. Let's see, middle and right, and that's fine. Let's try that out again. That's fine. So that's fine. This will be good for me as well. I think that's gonna be so. If I do something here, for example, if I take the scene graph here, look at this one there, that node, and go back here, make something like this, just paint something. So usually I hit the B button to bake down. That's something I could know now, as I have this button here, I could map that. So instead of hitting B every time I bake, I can actually bake that onto the pen itself. So let's try that. Instead of middle click here, let's go keyboard, keystroke, and set the B. Keystroke, bake. Let's see if that works now. So, okay, that didn't work. Let's see what I think I wasn't in pen settings. Let's go back. I have to do it there. So middle right. I forgot I had all other. I had to be in specific in the actual program there. So let's redo that. Keyboard, keystroke, B. Bake. Okay, let's see. Mari 4, keystroke. That's fine. That's what I want. So let's redo this. It's still not baked. So okay. So now I hit the button and it's baked. Okay. So now we can use that as a bake button. Or so yeah. It's kind of a cool way to interact with your. It's definitely a learning curve. It's not immediate, this one, so you have to spend some time getting familiar with all the settings and how you interact. And now this is a very small Wacom. I think it's a bit too small actually for navigating around here in Mari for my liking. I would like to have a bit bigger screen. I'm used to a bigger screen, because if I increase the resolution, everything becomes very small. So yeah, but yeah, let's see what we can do in ZBrush next. Okay, so here in ZBrush, let's take a look at the Wacom pen here, what we can do. So we have the new button here as in the previous demos, and let's take the pen settings and see here. Pen settings, And let's take the ZBrush here. I mapped it to the keystroke B on the bottom big button there, and let's see what that does. So in ZBrush, if I hit the B button on the keyboard, I get this pop up here with all the brushes. So let's see here, if I hover over here, and yeah, you see when I hit the B right now, my brushes comes up. So if I want to, for example, have a damp standard, D damp standard. So here we have now in the middle button here, the middle button, I mapped, so I pan around, and the top one I mapped to tumble it like this. So let's go in here into the settings again, pan settings. So here we see here under ZBrush, pan, zoom and tumble. So let's see here. Let's see a little bit, yeah. So we might want to try other combinations here. So let's try here actually keyboard and take a modifier and say left. Actually I have to do it in ZBrush. Keyboard modifier left alt. So this is another option. It's a little more finicky actually. So if I in ZBrush press the alt button on the keyboard and drag, it zooms. So the new Wacom needs support from the software, and ZBrush is a little different than like for example Maya, how it operates with the navigation. But let's try now. So I mapped now on the button here the alt. So if I press the button and let go, I can achieve the same zoom kind of behavior as if I would press it on the keyboard and zoom. So then I could use this to pan around, tumble, and if I hit this, it's a little bit finicky because yeah, you have to hold it, drag and let go. So yeah, it's not as fluent as if we had support for the actual pan and zoom like you have in Maya, for example. So yeah, I guess it is up to the software developers to support the standard, but I'm not sure if Wacom also could do something to maybe adhere to different standards as well. I don't know. We'll see how driver support is being developed in the future. So yeah, that's the basic how you navigate and set up your navigation in ZBrush as well. This is not a sculpting tutorial, but so you have here the alt now. I set it back to B, I think. Let's try B instead. Keyboard, B. Now it's set up, so now we can take a polish brush or something. Okay, so yeah, that's the Wacom 3D pen with ZBrush as well. Okay, so some kind of verdict on this one now. The Wacom Pro Pen 3D, will it be my one and only means of navigation in 3D? No, but yeah, that's expected because 3D is very relying on keyboard shortcuts and stuff like that. So yes, we have the express key for the Cintiq and the Wacom tablets, but yeah, I've tried that before and I use so many shortcuts, so it's really hard to get a optimal solution that replaces the keyboard altogether, and this one will not get you all the way. So the navigation wise, Maya seems to be the best one implemented in the navigation system. Mari, you have to set up as usual how you want it. I mean, it works, so you can do it. And I will probably use the new pen just for the sake of this button here, to be able to map it to whatever I want. So that's a plus sign. I will probably use it more for that than to actually use it for the actual 3D navigation per se. So yeah, yeah, it's a nice addition, and it needs some configuration in the software, and yeah, I will use it in the future. And yeah, that's my verdict for this Wacom Pro 3D pen.